Okay, let's talk about it. The holidays are right around the corner, and that means good food, seeing family, and, well, those conversations. The ones that can feel like you're walking through a minefield. So today, we're going to break down an evidence-based guide to help you not just survive those moments, but actually thrive.
First things first, let's just tackle this huge myth head-on. There's this popular idea, right, that all the holiday stress causes this massive spike in psychiatric emergencies. And it feels true, doesn't it? We all feel that pressure cooker atmosphere. But is that what's really happening?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. It turns out the exact opposite is true. A huge review of 25 different studies found that, believe it or not, psychiatric hospitalizations consistently drop during big holidays like Christmas. So the crisis isn't what we think it is. So, if the emergency rooms aren't overflowing, what's the deal? Because the stress is absolutely real, we all know that. Well, the research points to something else entirely. The conflict is mostly interpersonal. It's relational. It's all happening right there at the dinner table. And that, right there, is what we need the tools for.
So why? Why do these conversations get so tricky, so fast? In this first section, we're going to dive deep into the specific triggers that can turn a simple family get-together into a communication nightmare. Because once you understand how it works, you can start to disarm it.
This quote it nails it. You know that argument you have every single year about, I don't know, who carves the turkey? Yeah, it's almost never really about the turkey. Family systems theory shows us that all these old, unresolved issues are just kind of lurking under the surface, just waiting for a stressful moment to pop back up.
And these are the usual suspects, right here. You've got historical resurfacing. You know, those ancient grudges that suddenly feel brand new. Then there's just stress overload from money, travel, the pressure to make everything perfect. Oh, and role conflict. That's a big one. You walk in the door and suddenly you feel like you're 15 again. And of course, you've got those little things, a sarcastic tone, a pointed eye roll, that can just light the fuse in an instant.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now, let's get to the good part, the solution. This next section is all about building your toolkit with some solid, evidence-based skills that can completely change the dynamic of these tough conversations. These are the fundamentals.
The first, and maybe the most powerful tool in your entire kit, is active listening. And look, this isn't just about waiting for your turn to talk. It's about giving someone your complete, undivided attention. It's about trying to understand not just what they're saying, but the feeling behind the words. It's amazing how much things de-escalate when someone truly feels heard.
Now this one is a total game changer. It's all about shifting from blame to assertion. So instead of an attack like, "you're wrong," an I statement just owns your side of it. "I disagree." Or instead of, "you never ask for my opinion," you try, "I feel like I'm not being included." See the difference? You're stating your experience without putting them on the defensive.
Okay, now we're getting to the absolute core of how you protect your own well-being in all of this: assertiveness. And let's be clear, this isn't about being aggressive or starting fights. It's about advocating for yourself respectfully. Let's break down what that actually looks like and how we apply it by setting healthy boundaries.
You know, it really helps to see it all laid out like this. Assertiveness is that healthy sweet spot right in the middle. Being passive just leads to you feeling resentful. Being aggressive creates hostility. And we all know passive-aggressive behavior just poisons the well and solves nothing. But being assertive, that's how you build trust and mutual respect.
If you need a simple way to remember what goes into being assertive, just remember the HARD framework. It's got to be honest, appropriate for the situation, respectful of the other person, and direct. If you can hit all 4 of those notes, you're in a really good place.
And this is where the rubber meets the road. Assertiveness isn't just a way of talking, it's the tool you use to build healthy boundaries. Think of boundaries as the rules of engagement that you set up to protect your own mental and emotional space.
So how do you actually do it? Well, here's a step-by-step process. You start by figuring out what you need. Then, and this is key, you decide ahead of time what you will do if that line gets crossed. Then you communicate it clearly, you stick to it consistently, and you check in every now and then to make sure it's still working for you. That predetermined action plan, that's everything.
Ah, yes, this is the big one, isn't it? The moment you try to set a boundary and you get that pushback or maybe a guilt trip, it's that feeling that makes you want to just back down. For most people, this is the single biggest roadblock. So, how do you get past it?
The answer is all about developing what's called emotional independence. This is such a critical mind shift. You are responsible for communicating your needs respectfully. You are not responsible for how the other person reacts to it. Their feelings are their own to manage. Once you really truly internalize that, holding firm becomes so much easier.
All right, we've covered a lot of the theory. Let's wrap this up by making it as practical as humanly possible. This last section is all about giving you some actual scripts and tools you can use in the heat of the moment to turn all this knowledge into real action.
Here are some actual, ready-to-use scripts you can just borrow. Notice they're all calm, direct, and they don't leave a lot of room for negotiation. Someone pressuring you to take on too much? The script is simple and firm. A sensitive topic comes up? You just redirect. And if someone tries to guilt trip you, you can gently call it out while saying what you do want.
And here's the best news of all. If this stuff doesn't come naturally to you, you are not alone, and you're not stuck. Tons of research confirms that assertiveness isn't some fixed trait you're born with. It's a skill, and like any other skill, you can learn it, you can practice it, and you can get better at it over time.
This is the one thing I really want you to take away from all this. You are not stuck with the communication habits you grew up with. With deliberate practice, maybe starting in some low-stakes situations, you can build that muscle memory you need to stay calm and assertive even when things get heated.
But of course, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two totally different things, right? Especially when you're up against these deep-seated family patterns. It can be incredibly hard, and sometimes getting a little professional guidance can make all the difference in the world.
For anyone looking for that kind of support, a practice like Edward Jenny and Associates offers a really structured, science-backed way forward. They start by just getting to know you, creating a safe space. Then they use proven methods to build a plan that's tailored just for you. And finally, they give you the guidance and accountability to help turn those new skills into lifelong habits.
So if you're feeling ready to move from just surviving these tough conversations to actually mastering them, getting some professional support might be the perfect next step. You can check out their website at edwardjenny.com to learn more and even book a free consultation to see if it feels right for you.